in the toughest conditions in the morning. Keegan Bradley showed his shot-making chops, didn't he?
Yeah, he does this a lot, and he gets after it. Highest ball hitter on the tour last year. Height would certainly help you. I mean, that one came in from outer space, landed right next to the hole at the 8th. 7 pars to that point. Got things going with a nice birdie there.
Now at the 9th, short game.
Yeah, what a shot this was right here. Little stabby kind of chip out of that long rough. Even he has to chuckle about that one.
I had a nice look for birdie at 10, about 10 feet, missed it. Here he is at the 11th, down the hill from about 11 feet. Beautiful shot in there above the hole. And ticklish, you got a sense of just how fast the greens are there. Good read, good speed.
Here he is over at 16. Ball nearly went in the bunker, but did not. He would knock it on the green in 2 shots, right on the front right corner. Make a good 2-putt from there. Finish at -3 with a round of 69 today. Good start for Keegan.
That was 6.5 shots better than the scoring average in the morning wave. It was a 75.6 for the day. It was a little more than 74.5, and it was 73.5 in the afternoon. So it was a full 2 shots harder when Keegan played it. Been good here at Bay Hill, but sort of spread out. You can see second and third in those 2 years, 13 and 14. Not so much in between, but he has his mojo back, and that corresponds with his improved play in the last few years. So, he's the 16th ranked player in the world. As we join Todd Lewis. Todd, 16th ranked player in the world. He's won at least once each of the last 3 years. Won a playoff event last season. He's the Ryder Cup captain, but there is a fairly strong case that he should be the first U.S. playing captain since the guy who built this place behind us, Arnold Palmer. That was 1963. What more do you have on Keegan, Tom?
Yeah, that's a real possibility, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But Keegan was very proud of what he did today. And if you look at what the captain did statistically well here at Bay Hill, well, it was off the tee. He had 10 of 14 fairways. You got to hit fairways to have success here at Bay Hill. It sets you up for some quality pars and some occasional birdies, which Keegan did today. Also, he had a wonderful spirit of acceptance and patience in tough conditions. When he teed off at 10:05 this morning, the gusts here in Orlando were at 30 miles per hour, and he was able to put together that 69, while a majority of the field finished over par on Thursday.
Well, it was tough. It's when you wake up and you're walking and you're hitting on the range and the ball's going sideways, it is difficult to think that you've got 4 hours of this ahead of you. But I was just trying to make pars in every hole. Even when I had 15 feet, it was easy to whack it 6 feet by, and I was just felt like every time I walked off the green with a par, I was gaining on the field most likely.
I mentioned how you managed yourself on the golf course today, but there's also off the course managing what you have to do as the Ryder Cup captain. What are the big significant changes in your life in regards to managing yourself that you have had to make?
Well, like when I leave here, I gotta be a captain for a few hours. I have some things I have to do, and one of the good things about me still playing, in these big events is when I get inside the ropes and I have a scorecard in my pocket, I'm a player, and that's when I can kind of let this go. But when I'm outside the ropes, I'm a captain full time, and I feel like I owe it to the guys to give it my best effort at all times.
And of course, he was named the captain of the United States Ryder Cup team last year, and he competed for the United States team in the President's Cup, and the U.S. won the President's Cup once again in Montreal over the international squad. And Keegan Bradley actually got the clinching point for the U.S. team. And that's Sunday night in Montreal. If the U.S. squad had a big celebration, and everyone was asked to say something to the team. And Keegan had his opportunity as well, and he had some very colorful remarks. And those remarks were picked up by the Netflix camera and showed up recently on Full Swing Season 3. Here's what he said.
Where's my man? Keegan Bradley with the game ball. You bring that to Bethpage? Let's bring the band back. 2025!
I'm going to get criticized as the captain next year. They're going to underestimate me. They're going to doubt me. I've been doubted my whole life. That's work. We are going to go to Bethpage to kick their ass.
Now, today, Keegan spoke about those comments, and although he didn't take any of those words back, he was a bit modest in the fact that they came out over the air, and public consumption of what he said inside that team room, well, has kind of been a little bit of bulletin board material for the European team. He did say he meant no disrespect to the European squad. He feels like that's a very quality team. It was a locker room moment, but he has to have better awareness that cameras are around just about everywhere he goes as the Ryder Cup captain. He did reach out to some members of the European team, or former members of the European team, and he said, again, I didn't mean any disrespect. One person he did reach out from Team Europe, of course, was Luke Donald, the captain. They are great friends, and Luke kind of shrugged it off, and he said that some of the European team captains, members said, don't worry about it. You should hear what we say about you in our team room. In regards to him being on this year's team as a playing captain, he did talk about that a bit as well. He would love to qualify for the team, meaning he'd have to finish inside the top 6 before the qualification process ends. But if he finishes 7th, maybe 8th, he will talk to his team members and see if there is a push for him to make himself a captain's pick at Bethpage.